Welcome, Ross. We greatly appreciate your leadership. As always, we begin all things at SETC by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we're on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. And we acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So please tell me about the remarkable work of the Black Business Professional Association.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. It's a pleasure to be here and being part of that this conversation. The BBPA, what can we say? The BBPA is a 41-year-old organization, serving Black serving organization, perhaps the longest Black serving organization when it comes to Black businesses and professional, Black businesses and professional. We run 20 programs at the BBPA, all around serving Black business and professionals. Some of them, our scholarship program that last year we gave 150 scholarships to Black students who probably would not be able to continue university had it not been for the funding. And we're so pleased and so grateful for the sponsors who stepped up to do that. As you know, the BBPA produces the Harry Jerome Awards, which really celebrates Black excellence across Canada. And we're always pleased to do that, because I think it's important for us as a community to have that visibility and that celebration. One of our other programs, and I can go on about all 20, but I'll just talk about one more, which is really dear to me, is our BAIDS program, which is our a program that provides supports and resources to Black businesses. When we look at the challenges that Black businesses have, we always say access to capital, okay, right. Access to networks, but an important one is access to the training and the resources and the support services to be able to drive their businesses forward. And BAIDS seeks to provide those resources and those support systems that allow businesses to kind of accelerate and grow.
Right, absolutely. So can you articulate the BBPA's mission and vision for me?
Yes, so we exist to create equity and advocate for Black businesses across Canada. Our goal is over the next 4 years is to impact 10,000 businesses across Canada.
Incredible. So how important? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying all Black-owned businesses.
Absolutely. How important is entrepreneurial development for the Canadian Black ecosystem?
Oh, tremendously important. I mean, if you use me as an example, me, like most Black businesses, opted out of corporate Canada because of anti-Black systemic racism. And we see that happening even more often now. Over the last few years, we had a number of people being hired into jobs because of the George Floyd murder and corporate Canada's awareness of wanting a more diverse environment. But guess what has happened? We move forward to 2023, and a lot of people are being laid off. Oh. And what we're seeing is a great opportunity. We see more and more Black businesses, Black people, okay, Black professionals saying, my only way to build generational wealth is by doing my own thing. I remember looking at a study that said just under 5% of all entrepreneurs across Canada are Black entrepreneurs, and we're going to see that number rise over the next 5 years. So it's important that we continue to support and ensure that that our Black-owned businesses are sustained.
Absolutely. So I'd love to hear about your entrepreneurial roots. What forced you to be an entrepreneur? What inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
I'm from the beautiful island, originally from the beautiful island of St Lucia. And I grew up on the island. My father was a serial entrepreneur. He thought of it and he did it. He always showed up and he was always ready to take a risk. He owned insurance companies, one of the first locally owned insurance companies, hotels. So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I mean, I remember my grandmother on my mother's side was one of the first woman entrepreneurs that I knew, and she ran a little rum shop, we call it, in a village. And every Sunday when I visited her, I could see her, selling her goods, selling her stuff, and beating up guys who hadn't paid and that sort of thing. So entrepreneurship was a big part of life for me. I started my first business in high school in St Lucia, and my dad was a huge collector of movies, VHS movies. So at one point he had 3,000 of them. So I would actually borrow those movies and rerun them at school to friends. And that became a big business for me.
Wow, blockbuster.
I was the original St. Lucian blockbuster. And so that's where I really started. At university. I had my first official company called Crown Computer Sales, where I saw an opportunity that existed to sell computers to new people coming to university in their first year. And that was my first real business where I actually paid taxes and I actually had a registered business and did all the books for the business. So I've been in entrepreneurship since I was a child.
Absolutely. So what inspires you most about your current work as a business leader and entrepreneur in Canada?
The business, my current business is around talent. So we've got a few different businesses that are focused around talent. And for me, our goal is to help people get into jobs and help companies grow through people. So, when you look at even a newcomer to Canada, like I was 20 odd years ago, coming into the country and getting that first job, and then being able to buy a house, being able to go on a vacation, a dream vacation, or even be able to start their own business after a few years working in Canada. That's the kind of thing that really is important to me and to the work that we do as an organization.
Yeah, absolutely. So what challenges and barriers do you face in your work, and how do you and your team, how are you working to overcome them?
The industry that we're in is actually a very challenging one. I always say to people in our space, we're the only sales cycle where both your product, which is your candidates, and your client say no. Your product has a voice. So that in itself is a challenge, right? That itself is a challenge. But one of the things that, in our industry is good talent is always hard to find. It doesn't matter whether people are getting laid off every day. Good talent is hard to find. And our challenge as an organization is always keeping abreast with where talent is and ensuring that we're putting the best talent in front of our customers.
Right. Fantastic. So what is your ultimate goal as a president of BBPA, and what does success look like for you and your colleagues?
That's such a great question, and one I can probably talk about for hours. Earlier, I mentioned about our 10,000 businesses being served. As you know, in Ontario has the largest Black population, and by virtue of that, the largest number of entrepreneurs. And my goal as chair of the board for the BBPA is to ensure that the BBPA has a strong footing in every province around Canada, where we're supporting businesses in every province, that we're partnering with different organizations in every province so that we can serve more businesses. The tagline is no business is left behind. No Black-owned business will be left behind with the BBPA.
Right. So how do you feel about the future of Black entrepreneurship in Canada? Is it improving since that cash injection, or like, what are your thoughts on that?
So let me first say that the whole injection of cash is great. It's not enough, but it's a start. So if we think back to 6 years ago when I started my business, I didn't have the supports that we have now,
Right.
right? So I think the important thing for us as a community is to continue to take advantage of the resources that are available. But as organizations like the BBPA, we will continue to advocate for more for our Black businesses. But we are resilient people.
Yeah.
So with or without the support systems, I can see the Black community, business community growing, and we will continue to persevere to build generational wealth to our communities.
Absolutely. So do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action?
Yes. So I would love to send a message out to our Black businesses. We right now are going through a recession, especially in North America. And, it could be very daunting because the entrepreneurial journey is a lonely one. I would encourage us to show up, always continue to show up, stay focused, and understand that it's a war and not a battle. And there are very many stages through that journey that you will have to fight through. So continue to take it one day at a time. I believe, again, we are resilient people, and we are able to go. If we went through slavery, we can go through anything.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. We so appreciate your time and your remarkable leadership, Ross. And we'll close the same way we began this interview, by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we're on, and acknowledging our ancestors. So we acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. And we acknowledge all of the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.